Good afternoon po. I'm Elvis Cruz from Office of Civil Defense, Planning Officer. I'm designated as a Regional Director for Admin and Finance, Region 4A. 15 years po sa OCD, like na-mention po kanina. So, my topic for this afternoon is about the Philippine Disaster Risk Reduction and Management System pertaining to RA 10121. So to begin with na po, the scope of my presentation. So the historical perspective on disaster management, the current legal basis RA 10121, and the enhanced National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Framework, also the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council, composition and function, the operations flow, the operation and information flow, the humanitarian assistance and disaster response. Doon po sa topic na humanitarian assistance and disaster response, 3 topics po yung ating pagdidiskusan para case study. And then organizing for effective response to disaster control groups, and then the last part, yung engaging the academe in disaster risk reduction and management. So to begin with, doon din po na sa video presentation, like si Ma'am kanina meron, and I have here sa video din. So, mauna po yung video ko. So, overview. Yun po yung ating starting. We'll present the Philippine Disaster Risk Reduction and Management System. It will start to sa mga damages and the cost of it, the mga hazard. So, from this point, dealing with disaster in earlier times, medyo pumatilim, pero klase po naman. So, yung yung starting natin from early stage, na-experience na rin yan ang ating mga ninuno. Pero kita naman natin, kulang sa record. Meron na yan. So, early settlements in the pre-colonial era depended on topography and adaptation to weather patterns. So, yung ating mga ninuno ay alam na nila ang gagawin nila pagkakita na nila yung mga ganyang evidence na sa kanila yan. Ginagamit nila yung kanilang mga isa natural phenomena or instinct na tinatawag. Sanay na sila dyan. Bakit sila sanay tayo? Nagre-reklamo, pumunta na kumpleto na sa mga sa equipment. And then, from Spanish colonial period, dyan nag-start na ng mga recordings. Maalala natin na meron na rin na-recorded ng mga tsunami effect doon sa Manila Bay, yung mga recorded ng mga Spaniard dyan, yung mga pari ng araw. Sila yung talaga nagre-record. Yung prior established an accounting and recording of disasters. And then, basis for later development of early warning system. With the American period naman tayo, yung constabulary headed relief board during typhoons and mitigation developed scientifically with forecasting. So, from that time, talagang continuous pa rin ang mga relief efforts. And then, the post-war World War II, dito na nagbigin yung ating yung pagsulat na nung Civil Defense Act of 1954. Start nung RA 1190, yung establishment ng National Civil Defense Administration or NCDA. O ito na yung provided for establishment of Civil Defense Council and established the National Civil Defense Administration. And then yung prepared the National Disaster Calamities Plan. Medyo nagulo yun Wait lang po. At dito malinaw. Hindi naman. Yan. Nagulo yung kanina. So, the Office of Civil Defense, yung office namin, created in 1972 through LOI 19. And then after that, because yung mga disaster like yung mga Ruby Tower collapse, yung mga 1970s na yan, na yung NDCC. Yun yung time na yung National Disaster Coordinating Council. It's aimed to strengthen the Philippine disaster control capability and establish the National Coordinating Council by Presidential Decree 1566. So, after that, since 1978 na yun, yung PD 1566, ito na po yung ating batas ngayon from that time, and then ng May 27, 2010, na yung PDRRM law o yung RA 10121, the Strengthening the Philippine Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Act. So may tatlo siyang doon sa law na yon, yung develop ng National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Framework and National Disaster Risk Reduction Management Plan and funding. Kaya po ang NDRRMC ay may fund na appropriate para sa disaster. So meron din ng law na para doon sa Tersentimang, yung Climate Change Act, yung RA 9729. So, strengthen talaga yung ating batas pertaining to the natural and sa disaster. Mga natural environment at saka sa disaster. So, yung Republic Act 10121, it's an act strengthening the Philippine Disaster Risk Reduction Management System, as I mentioned kanina, providing the national framework, institutionalizing the National DRRM Plan, appropriating fund. Previously, ang MDCC doon, it's parang nasa taas lang siya, centralized government. Ngayon, sa RA 10121, in-strengthen yung local. Kaya yung bottom-up participatory disaster risk reduction. So from the local, binigyan na sila ng fund, and then strengthen pa sa kanila, nasa kanila talaga because of the LDRMOs, yung Local Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office natin, yung strengthen din yan. So, previously, disaster mainly are reflection of people's vulnerability. Now, yung disaster as purely function of physical hazard. Nakikita natin yung hazard, andyan naman yan talaga. So, yung vulnerability ay talagang yun ang kailangan natin maiwasan o siya rin maaalis. And then, yung integrated approach to genuine social and human development to reduce that disaster. So, focus on disaster response and anticipation. At nakita naman natin yung NDCC doon, mostly response. Ngayon, ginana natin to management or to the system na i-manage yung disaster or the management of the hazard. And then, yung ating National Disaster Risk Reduction Management Framework, kita naman natin sa bottoms up and participatory. Meron tayong 4 aspect of disaster risk reduction and management. Andiyan yung preparedness, response, prevention and mitigation, rehabilitation, and recovery. So, kita naman natin dito, yung response, i-minimize na natin. Pagdating sa mga program activities and project, so mostly ang mga risk reduction program natin is more on prevention and mitigation. Rehabilitation and recovery, para maiwasan na yan yung ating response and rehabilitation, strengthen natin yung prevention and mitigation. So study the risk factors, the hazards, the exposure, the vulnerability capacities, and then mainstreaming DRR and CCA into planning and implementation. So ang goal is to have a safer, adaptive, and disaster resilient Filipino communities towards sustainable development. So yung ating RA 10121 from the old NDCC composition, dito na po tayo, na-develop ang new NDRC composition. 44 members. Is headed by Secretary of National Defense. Previously, it's the same. Dito sa RA 10121, meron na siyang 4 vice chairperson. So, the vice chairperson for disaster preparedness, andyan yung ating DILG. Sa response, andyan yung SWD, mitigation, DOST, rehabilitation, recovery, NEDA. So, dinivide po yung work sa DRR. Nagkaroon ng apat na thematic areas, nilagyan siya ng mga different offices talaga na mag-monitor and mag-ano ng mga program. So, nadagdagan din yung ating mga members. So, 14 department secretaries and 12 other head of government. So, ito po yung bago doon sa RA 10121. And then the 17 responsibilities of NDRRMC, it's more on policy making, coordination, integration, supervision, monitoring and evaluation function. So marami pong function at saka responsibilities ang ating NDRRMC. So the slide shows ito po yung organizational network natin. From the head, 17 Regional Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council, I think meron na rin yata tayong sa 6B, yung Region 6, hinahati na siya. So, yung office namin, yung OCD, magkakaroon na kami ng isang region doon sa Negros. So, yung magiging 18 Regional Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council. We have the 79 Provincial Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council, the city, the municipal, and the barangay. So yung provincial city, ito yung tinatawag nating local DRRMC. Ito na yung mga local government units headed by the provincial, headed by the governor. Sa city and municipalities, headed by the mayors. And then yung barangay, wala siyang council pero meron siyang disaster risk reduction and management committees. And how NDRRMC obtain information flow. So from the hazard, kung ano yung hazard sa areas, meron tayong mga field station, nagkaroon ng surveillance. So from that, paano nire-report yan? So from dito sa local, may mga reporting system na kinukuha dyan, papasa sa region, sa amin, like us, sa Region 4. And then kami magpapalit sa NDRRMC. So from NDRRMC, we have the Executive Director of the NDRRMC, yung aming administrator, and then siya yung magpapalit na sa chairperson. Sometimes, yung ibang report, dumidiretso sa NDRRMC because of yung ating mga tinatawag na social media or yung ating tinatawag ngayon na mabilis na mag-report because of the technologies. So nauunahan kami minsan, kaya talagang minsan nasasabi sa amin, may report na dito sa news, ba't wala pa kayong binabalita dyan? So because dito naman, ang news naman is, yung mga broadcast naman is talagang to report. Pagdating sa amin, to validate. Hindi naman namin nasasabi yung kung wala talagang validation na report. Like dito sa ating bagyo, nung nakaraan kay Lando, ay merong isang fisherman doon sa Cavite. So hindi pa namin nire-report unless meron na siyang pangalan. Kaya po yung inano namin is kailangan meron na siyang name bago namin i-report. So, the next topic po is yung case study natin ng Tropical Storm Undoy. Kita naman natin kung gaano si Undoy noong 2009, remember po, 2009, pumalit si Undoy, yung RA 10121 natin, 2010. So, ito po ang pinaka-catalyst ng pag-sign ng RA 10121. Kita natin dito na apektuhan yung buong Metro Manila. Di po ba? Hindi lang yung Metro Manila, pati yung karabit ng Metro Manila. So, NCR yung talagang apektuhan, and then yung mga ano niya, after a year, sinasabi ko kanina, na-sign yung RA 10121. Yung reporting natin dito ay talagang naanohan din. Kumbaga, na ano rin kami. Because of that timing talaga, hindi pa strengthen yung ating mga reporting system. Like ngayon, kita na naman ninyo, yung Pag-asa, accurate na, halos accurate na yung kanilang yung mga pagbibigay ng balita. Or yung mga kung tatama yung bagyo. So ito po yung isang niya na naging result yung pagsasign ng RA 121. Yung kanina sa presentation natin na nabanggit ni Ma'am, yung Typhoon Yolanda naman to. So yung Typhoon Yolanda, kita naman natin ito na yung pinakamalakas na disaster na naranasan natin sa buong Southeast Asia and the whole world. Nakita rin natin last week yata yung sa Patricia naman. So isa rin siya sa talagang pinakamalakas na bagyo. Dito, nabagitan niyo kanina yung mga death toll, kung gaano karami at gaano naapektuhan. Sa atin, sa humanitarian assistance, napakarami po na challenges dito. Unang-una sa logistics. Di po ba, paano mo dadalhin yung mga relief goods na dyan sa area na yan na hindi naman pwede yung kanilang airport. So maliit po yung kanilang, kung chopper naman, kakunti lang ang dadalhin. At nakita rin natin dito na sumobra naman ang tulong ng mga ibang bansa na parang naging World War II na din daw yung Leyte. So ang inano mo doon, nag-aaral din ng mga nasa logistic cluster natin kung paano niya na hindi naman sa ganoon talagang napakaraming tulong. Siyempre, sa dami ng tulong, hindi na malaman niya kung sino uunahin at sino unang pagbibigyan. Sa napakaraming tulong at napakaraming mga assistance natin, may mga pagkukulang pa rin nakikita natin. Isa rin dyan, ang nakita nating lessons dyan is yung sa political. Kita natin yung declaration ng state of calamities. Ayan din yung isang naging isang pinaka parang concern din sa area na yan. Kasi yung mga regional government ay nandyan. Sino na yung mag-lead? Kasi po lahat ng parang regional offices ay tinamaan din. Of course, yung manpower ay wala na rin mag-lead. Kasi apektado na rin sila. So handyan na yung tinatawag natin na nakagaya ng Typhoon Lando na preemptive evacuation na ginawa. Andiyan na rin yung mga tulong na binibigay na doon sa safe area. Kasi dito, hindi na rin nakita kung saan talaga yung safe area. And another din dito ay yung communication. So from that time na kita natin yung yung mga communication satellite and then yung radio, yung tinatawag natin na yung military type na radio. Talagang effective po. Another topic po ng discussion dito is yung sa Bohol earthquake. Kita natin, madalas tayong magbagyo. Pero kita natin yung ngayon damages. Unlike pag naglindol, ito madalang, pero pag tumama siya, ay napakalaki ng damages. Lessons learned natin dito, ang laki ng damages sa ating church, sa ating mga historical site, sa Bohol areas. So nakita din dyan kung yung cost niya ay parang may cost po ba yun? Parang unlimited, hindi mo ma-account kung magkano yung cost ng mga historical natin ng mga sites sa Bohol. Another challenge din dyan ay yung kasi nasa area siya ng isang island, so paano mo pa rin distribution ng relief goods? Tinamaan din ang Cebu. So yung mga strategic location, strategic point kung paano tutulong ay nilalagay din dyan. Ang P-Box, nakita din yan, yung areas na tinamaan is not yung fault line. Kumbaga, nagkaroon ng bagong fault. Yung tinatawag nilang blind fault. So, start naman tayo pagdating doon sa pagbuo ng effect ng disaster control groups. So, ito yung po yung typical na disaster control groups natin. Meron tayong chairman na nasa taas, may assistant chairman, staff element. Ito po yung the chairman, the assistant chairman, the staff team, and the operations team. So ito po yung mga typical organization sa ating offices, establishment, and school. Ito din po yung nasasaad sa batas na kailangan magbuo tayo ng disaster control group. So from the duties nila, ang chairman is responsible for developing the plan to protect life and properties. And then the assistant chairman serves as the principal assistant to disaster control group chairman. And then the staff elements, yung security team leader, shall be responsible for securing vacated buildings, hospital, establishment. So pag nag-earthquake drill po kami or nag-ano kami sa isang sa schools or mga establishment, ito po yung pinapresent namin. The supply team leader shall be responsible for determining supply requirements, and the transportation leader shall be responsible to transport needs. The communication team leader shall be responsible for the receipt of warning information. Then we have the operation teams, the warning team leader, evacuation team leader, and PDD team leader. So another level niya, yung rescue team leader, the medical team leader, and the damage control team leader. So how we engage the academe in disaster risk reduction and management, in DRRM? Of course, yung ating in what areas of DRRM that the academe can effectively support to ensure a safe nation and well-prepared population. So ito po, yung ating possible areas of collaboration. Knowledge management and educate na inaasal climate change. So dito sa disaster management, ang RA 10121 po ay meron po doon developed a National Training Institute. Kaya lang po, hindi siya nag-materialize from the begin ng kanyang signing hanggang ngayon, yung Training Institute pa ay dire-develop pa rin. Na ngayon na meron na kaming sunset review na tinatawag na later at the last of my presentation, ipapakita yung sa sunset review. Another aspect, you expand course offering to include relevant subject on hazard, risk, disasters, and what to do about them. And then develop internship opportunities, encourage pre-disaster fieldwork, pursue academic researches in disaster management, document and share findings with the disaster management practitioners. And meron na rin po tayong National Service Training Program na NSTP. Another areas of collaboration, awareness and advocacy campaign. Ito po yung mga kinakandak namin ng mga disaster preparedness program. Yung mga capacity building, like mga earthquake drills and other simulation exercises, yung orientation, conduct of disaster preparedness orientation, like yung mga ganito natin, to include na nga yung climate change and DRR. Ito pong dalawa, laging topic po talaga yun, yung disaster risk reduction or disaster risk management at saka yung climate change. And then another areas, the crisis, yung preparing for effective response, yung hangin ng disaster control group, yung DepEd po ay nag-issue na rin ng memorandum na order na mag-create na ng kanilang disaster control group. And then yung crisis management, on-scene management of a crisis emergency, contingency planning, organizing business continuity planning or continuity of operations planning. Ito po rin yung importante like yung sa mga ating schools na marami pa pong schools ngayon na ginagawang evacuation center. So how they continue yung operation ng mga school, mga student. So ito rin na aspect na paano mag-continue yung school na hindi madi-disrupt gawa sa mga evacuees. Pero yung ating because nga dun sa fund na binibigay sa local government, nagkakaroon na rin sila ng mga tinatawag natin yung mga evacuation center like mga covered court, nagagawa na nila yan as evacuation center. On risk identification, hazard maps, GIS system, vulnerability analysis, risk analysis, understanding direct, indirect, and secondary effect of disaster, include disaster risk analysis as part of the project design. So yung ating risk identification, sometimes po, right now, ang nakikita natin is yung direct damages. Yung damages to infrastructure, the buildings, yung mga nag-collapse na bridges, hindi madaan na passable roads. But yung indirect damage, ito po yung challenge sa compute ng talagang ng real na damages. Yung kanina damage na nakikita natin, na pinakita, is mostly dun sa direct. How about yung indirect? Ito po din yung for example, na indirect damages, for example, yung isang jeepney driver from UP Los Baños, dahil po sa hindi na madaanan, wala na siyang kita. So yung indirect damages sa kanya, hindi natin na-compute. Yung how many days siya hindi makabiyahe. Of course, pag di siya makabiyahe, yung gasoline station, hindi rin kumikita. May mga manpower din siyang sinusweldohan. So pag kinompute po natin yon at ilalabas natin yung direct plus indirect damages, ay lalaki po talaga yung damages. Hindi lang po yung figures na yun dapat na makita. Yung UNSCA po, meron na silang computation na gano'n. Yung UNSCA. Kaya lang po, talagang napakahirap din kasi pupunin natin yung baseline data. Doon po when we conduct dito sa Typhoon Pablo, in-introduce po nila yon. Pero nakita natin kung ang kulang kasi po din is yung baseline. For example, tourist destination, yung income nila for the past, yung 6 months, 1 year, 1 year na lang, 12 months na yan. Dapat po na-compute natin ina-average kung magkano. In day, in weeks, para pag po may disruption o mayroon talagang disruption of operation, makukompute natin kung 1 week sila nag-disrupt, ito po yung baseline na nakikita natin. And then makukompute natin na yung pinaka-direct, indirect damages plus yung direct damages. So ito po yung isang din na makikita natin na medyo talagang challenge sa pagre-report ng mga losses. Another, yung risk reduction. Structural and non-structural mechanism, like yung land use planning, structural design and construction practices, the building code, and early warning system. The building codes, yun po yung isang rin doon sa Bohol earthquake. Ang sinasabi nila doon, yung kasi, ang doon, makikita mo pag talagang big earthquake or malakas yung earthquake, magtutumbahan yung mga nakikita natin diyan. Yung isang Japanese expert doon, may mga picture sila na pinakita na some areas ay hindi bumuhal yung mga cabinet or yung mga hindi talaga nagbuwalan. Ibig sabihin, meron lang talaga mga infrastructure na mahina. Kaya in that area, talagang iniinan na yung strict implementation ng building code. Yan din sa Yolanda, isa rin yan na pinakita na strengthen pa natin yung pag-ano ng building code. So, ito na po yung aking last topic, yung sa government initiative in managing disasters. Punta muna ako sa Sunset Review. Ang RA 10121 po, ay binigyan siya na from 2010 to 20, parang 5 years na yan na batas. So, mayroon tong system na sinasabi na in 5 years, i-review na po yung RA 10121 to look kung effective or talagang ano pa dun sa current situation yung RA 10121. In Yolanda story, nakita natin na talagang napakalawak, napakalaki. Talagang government cannot go dun sa incidents na yon. So yung RA 10121 ay ni-review na siya. As a result, yung draft bill na ng RA 10121 para sa sunset review ay magkakaroon po for this purpose, draft pa lang po naman siya. And then sabi sa amin nung in charge, we will make this para sa inyo as discussion kung ano yung mga salient provision dun sa RA 10121 na strengthen yung RA 10121. So first, development nung parang national yung NCDA nagkakaroon ng hindi na siya yung NDRRMC kundi yung National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Authority. Like yung ating may PEMA tayo, yung sa US, may mga authority, may mga administration. So yun po yung isang ilalagay na sa strengthening ng RA 10121. Meron pang mga provision na yun na pagdating kasi sa penal clause, yung RA 10121 ay mga ano lang, yung makita natin, the relation of duties, may mga other na medyo in-strengthen ngayon nila yung RA 10121 na yun. Meron ng mga provision na talaga magiging liabilities na ng local government o local areas pag meron talagang distraction or mga they cannot parang control yung nangyayari. Dahil kasi yung RA 121 strengthen natin yan sa prevention and mitigation. Kaya pinapakita din doon na dapat doon tayo strength, not on response. Sa ngayon kasi makikita natin na response pa rin talaga yung effective na ginagawa ng ating mga local government. Dito kasi pinapakita kung paano ituro sa mga tao yung tamang pag-ano sa disaster. So, yun yung ating sa RA 121 na meron na pong draft bill para doon sa further strengthening the Philippine Disaster Risk Reduction and Management System. So yung ating last presentation or yung video na ipapakita ko po, ito naman ay yung tungkol mga ginagawa naman natin ng mga government sa preparedness. So yung DILG, nagano po siya ng project listo na tinatawag na kanilang ito po yung project listo ng DILG. Yolanda po ang pinaka-base ng ating plan.
Operation Restore. Tamang paghahanap, tamang aksyon.
So yun po, maraming pong salamat.
Thank you, Sir Alex, for those information.